Hello and welcome back to Dusting History. I've got something a little different today. I've got two quick Photoshop ideas. I'm reticent to call them tips or tricks because they're not really. They're just things that I discovered while I was working. Here I've got an image of a young boy, and it was originally in an oval frame, and just because I prefer to have a rectangular image, I thought I'd try and use generative fill to remove the border. And as you can see here, I'm generating a border or a fill, and I just get three different borders given back to me. So I try remove white border, and I get three different borders. So even trying a different corner here, like I try the other side, I'm still going to get a border. So what I think is happening is the image is looking at the whole image when it's looking to generate content. So it's seeing the border on every side and thinking that I need one. So what I've done here is clip the image into four discrete pieces. And now when I do a generative fill just on that one bit, and it hasn't got the rest of the border to refer to, it does a much better job of giving me what I'm after, even with no image prompt. So I can take that resulting image and snap it back into the original, shut it down, and then work my way through the four quadrants here, and every one of them will successfully remove the border. Now this one I struggled a little bit with because so much of the foot was missing. It gave me a very stunted looking foot initially, there. So I thought I'd be clever and say a pair of feet in the prompt, and then I got, well, you'll see what I got. So I just tried again. I got a fairly decent image, and then I did a small generative fill just of that area and said shoot. Well, that says foot, so I tried shoe. That one's okay. I'll do a bit of work on that later. Now I can just clean up any of the differences or seams. And there you have it. Now the second little thing I've discovered, or I'm playing with at any rate, is this idea of dynamically grading an image. So here's a picture of some lumberjacks, and the luminance varies greatly. You can kind of see down the bottom and down the top how flat and lacking in contrast this is. So what I've done is create a duplicate of the image, and I'm going to Gaussian blur it, and I'm going to do that a few times. You'll see I just repeat the blur several times, and now what that's done is create like a heat map of where it's overly bright versus dark, and then I can grade that resulting kind of blurry image down like this, and then find the channels dialog and hit the little marquee down the bottom, and that creates a mask of the brightness and darkness of that image. So now when I create a levels adjustment, you can see it's put that image automatically into the mask. So when I adjust the brightness and darkness or the contrast of this image, it's going to target those areas that were brighter versus the areas that were darker. Now that of course will darken down some of the shirt of the guys in the middle softly because they were brighter, so you can go through later and just with the paintbrush in that mask paint some of these areas away. You'll see I do that in a minute. But generally speaking, that's given us a much better contrast or balanced image to work with. And here I'm just going to selectively paint some of that adjustment away. So just ideas I thought I'd throw out there, just ways of working that you might not have thought of, that I've just sort of stumbled across, and I thought I'd share them. So I hope that makes sense, and I hope that's useful. At least I'd be keen to know if you've played with any of those techniques and if they worked for you, or what shortfalls you see in that. Anyway, thanks very much. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.